Hello everyone, happy Monday morning. Welcome back to Susie Saves. I am Susie, and today we are looking at our weekly budget. So I know there's been some exciting news around. This is our first budget getting paid from the new job, but I'm going to wait until next week to talk about that specifically. So me and my husband now both get paid bi-weekly. So he gets paid every 2 weeks, I get paid every 2 weeks. What I had been doing was I was getting paid weekly, and then I would just cut his earnings in half and have them on the weekly budget too. However, I now get paid bi-weekly, he now get paid bi-weekly, but we have won the luck of the draw and we get paid on different weeks, which is fantastic. So we are able to keep the weekly budget. It'll just be 1 week is my husband's paycheck and the next week is my paycheck. So I'm super happy about that. I was super worried about trying to move to a 2-week budget, and now we don't have to, and it is so great. So the 24th. So let's start our budget this week. So this week is my husband's income week. So husband's income. My husband makes $1,906 every 2 weeks. But because I said the income is staggered, this is the weekly income now. So we have 1,900. Oh, I'm actually going to make that 5 because I like to round things. So we have $1,905 to budget with this week. We are zero-based budgeters, which means we're going to give every dollar of this a job to do, which is what we're going to do right now. So for our expenses, we have our non-variable expenses. These are things that come up, bills that are the exact same every month. So for us, rent is always $800 a month. This is actually a magic. Oh no, the next week's a magic week. So yeah, so we're gonna put $200 towards that. After rent is internet. Our internet is $91 a month. So we're gonna divide that by 4 weeks in the month, which is gonna give us the $23 that we have been using. But I think it can be nice to know like where exactly we get numbers from. So I'm gonna kind of run through that. We also now pay an electricity bill. We just paid the first one, which was $220. So I'm gonna go ahead and put $50 down. That'll give us $200 at the end of the month. Last month was high because the pool was running. It's off now. We've been a lot more conscious with how we've been using our electricity. So I'm guessing a $200 would be good for next week, so we will see. After our non-variable expenses, we have variable expenses. So these are things that we need to buy every week, but the price may change. So for example, groceries. Grocery prices fluctuate so badly. We just give ourselves a budget. It's only the two of us. This is going to be different depending on if there's children in the house, how old they are, what they're eating. Obviously, if you have to buy formula and diapers, you're gonna go way up. If you have teenage boys, they're gonna eat a lot. So this really depends on how many people are in the household and their ages and all of that stuff. So it's just the two of us, and we've been doing just fine on $75 a week. Again, this is like the top end of the budget, so we don't have to buy a full like $75 worth of groceries. That's just like the most we could spend. Next is we have miscellaneous. This is for anything that pops up throughout the week that doesn't fall into an already established category, or if we don't have other money on us that we would, use for this category, we can use that. So for instance, you're out somewhere, you see a cute cat toy and you want to buy it, but you don't have money from the pets category because you didn't go out planning to spend money on them. You could borrow from this category and then replenish it when we got back home. Or if you're buying something as a favor for someone else, so say your parents invite you over for dinner, oh crap, we need shredded cheese, can you pick some up from the store? Money can be that money, like that you would spend to do that. Next is dining. $50 for dining. So this is if we want to eat out once a week. Like I said, it's only me and my husband, so we don't need a whole bunch of money to go and eat out. So we give ourselves $50 a week. If we end up not eating out this week, then we just add another $50 next week and we have $100. So if we want, we could either eat like one non-fancy fast foody meal a week, or we could save it all and have like a large fancy meal at the end of the month or something like that if we had wanted to do that. Or say we wanted to go to an event and there was something there where you could buy food or something like that, we could save up some money and spend some money from this category on that. The other thing in this category here is gas. So I'm sure you guys are aware gas prices change daily, right? They change all the time. So this category may need to get changed at some time. Pardon me. It's been working just fine right now. We have found it that to fill up once a week for both of us is about $50. Mine tends to be less, normally around like $35, $40. His is pretty much $45 to $50. So we give ourselves $100 a week for gas. But if gas prices started rising, that would have to go up, you know, so it's just what it is for right now. Next, we have subscriptions. So we have 2 subscriptions. YouTube and Netflix. Both of these are $20 a month, so they get $5 a week, nothing crazy there. And then we get spending money. So Susie spending money and my husband spending money. We just started spending money in April, so it's been just over, well, I guess this is like the 6th month of doing spending money. We get $50 a week. We wrote out all the numbers. We tried to decide what we wanted it to be. It was really hard for us to pick a number for spending, honestly, because before this year, I was the sole provider and I didn't make enough to have discretionary spending, non-discretionary spending, like spend on whatever you want money. So when my husband started his job, he said it's really important that we put money aside for us to do things and to be able to, you know, have wants, not just needs. So everyone in the financial space always talks about like a 50-30-20 method or anything like that. This is not that. This is like a 0.1%. Actually, I could do that math. 3% of our income that we spend on wants, which is crazy, but we also want like a house and we want the other things that we're like saving a lot of money for. So we have like a car fund because we want new vehicles and things like that. But this is for the small ones. Oh, it's getting cold out, I would like thicker socks or taller socks, or I want a game that I saw for sale online, or you know, little things like that that can bring a moment of joy and not break the budget. Like this is clearly not a large amount of spending money for us, which is why we decided on that amount, because it is $5,200 a year. Like it's about $5,000 for us to have spending money. My husband gets to $2,500. I get $2,500. I don't know if I'm gonna spend all this money, I'll be honest, but we also have decided that if this gets too large, we can make a larger purchase together as long as we agree, right, on like what we want to do. So for instance, last month we hit over $1,000 in this spending account, and my husband said, hey, do you want to go on a trip? Can we spend this money on a trip? Is that something you'd be interested in? And we made a plan and we went on a trip and it was great. So we could always do something like that, but we don't want to save so hard that we forget how to spend, because a lot of people have that trouble of like getting old and retiring and just being locked in the mindset of save, save, save for so long that they can't enjoy their money when that's all they have the time to do. So anyway, that was long-winded. Sorry about that. We're going to add up all of our expenses, and then I'm going to go ahead and look at the percent of our income that these expenses are. So one of the big things for me was making sure that we weren't infected with lifestyle creep, which is basically like, I got this new job, it came with a pay raise, and so, oh, we have more money, let's spend more money, right? We're trying to clearly avoid that. So it looks like our spending expenses this month is going to be 33% of our pay, which is good. It should be about 50% or less, right? So we are good on that. We do not have any debt, so we do not need to worry about debt. Now, sinking funds are also technically savings, except they're for specific categories and they come and go. A lot of our sinking funds are revolving funds. So we put money in one week, we take money out, put money in, take money out as needed. So for us specifically, our sinking funds are phone bill and car maintenance. So these we put in throughout the year, and then they get taken out all at once at the end of the year. Both of these are about $650 a year. We just took that divided by the 52 weeks, and that gives us $13 for both of these. Then we have the revolving funds. So this, oh, that's supposed to be car insurance. That's all right. Insurance. The revolving funds are car maintenance, gifts, pets, and health. So we put $10 a week into these and $20 into health. And this is car maintenance. We're putting money in every week, and then once every 3 months, we need an oil change, or we need windshield wipers, or things come up and we take money out. But every week we're putting money in to anticipate when we will have to take money out. Gifts, mostly Christmas, but also for birthdays. So we put money in here throughout the year. Then when a birthday comes up, money gets taken out, right? Pets, this is mostly for, we have a vet bill coming up in February because they'll all go in for their shots, the 3 cats. But then if there's other, litter, you need food, you need lights, you need toys if you want toys, other things that you'll have to buy throughout the year, which this revolving fund will help supplement. And then health gets 20 because we are sickly people. So this is supposed to help with co-pays, prescriptions, but it can also help with like supplements. So I take iron or vitamins, protein, anything like that. Sometimes hygiene products or like allergy medication. So that stuff can come out of health. These numbers are a bit more arbitrary than these ones are. So basically, I just thought to myself, like, how much does XYZ cost, right? So how much does a bag of cat food cost? How much does windshield wipers cost? How much is an oil change? So the car maintenance is a little easy because you can kind of look at your routines and say, well, I get my oil changed about once every 3 months. It tends to be like $80, right? So $80 every 3 months means you need to save about 27 bucks a month to do that. I put a little bit more in here because this is for 2 cars and also windshield wipers and different things like that that might be needed in here. But that's how I would do setting up the sinking funds for things like that. Now we don't have any debt, so we only have our one category left, which is savings. So we have our $19.05 coming in, our $623 going out, our $76 going to sinking funds, which leaves us with $1,206 to go into savings. And that is 63% of our income. So a 63% savings rate is crazy. We do not intend to be able to keep this up long term. I think anyone would expect that that's not realistic to keep up long term. So we're just doing what we can for now when we are young and we don't have as many things to pay for. We're just really focusing on saving for a house, cars, and then in retirement. So this week specifically, we have a buffer in our checking account because we have bills that come out of a checking account. So if, say, the internet provider were to raise our bill and charge us without us knowing, it was like $10, $15 more, we want to make sure that we're not overdrawing from our checking account. So we have money that we put into the buffer every month or every week for this. Normally, I just do this off of rounding off this number. So we have $1,206. I'm just going to go ahead and take the 1 and round that to a 5. I only work in 5s and 10s for the savings, just to make sure we have an adequate amount in our buffer. It's only ever going to be between $1 and $4, so it's nothing crazy. So technically, we have quite a bit of savings account, but they're not going to be used this week. So I have a Roth IRA, but it is fully funded for the year, so we're not going to put money into there. My husband's Roth IRA is going to get fully funded this week. Other than that, we have a savings account and a brokerage account. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the money this week into our savings account. And as a reminder, that is going to be towards the home we are hoping to buy sometime in the future. So, to fill my husband's Roth IRA, it is $1,030. And that will fill it for the year of 2025. And that'll leave us $175 to put into the savings account this week. So thank you all for your support over this channel. Our income and our life situation has changed so drastically from when this channel first started. Like I said, when this channel first started, we had, I don't even know. Actually, I do know. I could look it up. Let me see. I don't kind of want to say it. So we had $8,000 to our names. This was $6,000 of that was in my Roth IRA, and then we had $3,000 in a brokerage account. That was all the money we had. I went and started a full-time job. Like I said, I was a sole provider of the family, of me and my husband. I was paying all the rent. I had to do everything because he was finishing school. So we went from having, like, I couldn't even explain it to you. We were just so tight all the time. I finished filling my Roth IRA last year. It took me until April, like the deadline, and I did it for the first time, and it was crazy. So to think that I was able to do it in October, so not even take the full year, like, it's mind-blowing to me. So thank you all for being here through this. With my new income, we have moved to upper middle class, which is crazy. So I will be removing, like, the low income stuff off of the channel. I don't want to false advertise to people and have them think that my situation is congruent to theirs, right? I don't want people coming on here and being like, oh, they're low income and they can save so much, so why can't I? Like, why am I failing at this when our situations just aren't similar? So I'm going to be changing some of that stuff around the channel, but we're still going to be doing this because this is so important to me. We're adults. We're 26 now. My husband's going to be 26. So I'm really hoping that we can get this shit together and really make it work for us. So thank you all so much for being here. I'm sorry about the ramble. I'm just rambling. This is the weekly budget for this week. Tomorrow, I gotta sneeze. Pardon me. And tomorrow, we'll be going over the final payment for my husband's yeah, Roth IRA for the year, which is crazy. So if you're interested in the online assets that we've been growing over the past 2 years, please tune in tomorrow for the Transfer Tuesday. We do the cash stuffings. So this cash stuffing is already done. So it was released yesterday. If you'd like to see the cash stuffing for it. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. I'm just so full of love. We're getting around the time of the 2-year anniversary of this channel. I want to release a video about the before and now, about like how budgeting and cash stuffing and all this has just made me feel so much more in control of my life and has, exploded our financial prospects to a degree I never thought possible. So we will be doing that soon, so stay tuned for that. I hope you all are having a fantastic Monday. I will see you tomorrow for the Transfer Tuesday. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.